Hey folks, Eric Mulder here, and welcome to episode number one of the Code Red Conversations podcast. Thank you guys for joining me. I just want to give another thank you for everyone that's been supporting me and this whole mission of Code Red Conversations over the last few weeks and months, especially the last few weeks or even last couple of months where I haven't been as consistently active as I would like to. Things just kind of got in the way, but we're back and we're going to be back at it in a big way. That's the game plan. Now, when it comes to the idea of the podcast, nothing really has changed. Our concept and our core values and goals remain the same. Our goal is part of Code Red Conversations, part of our title says where we seek to understand and apply the tactical mind. When I say understand, I'm primarily referencing us having a greater understanding of police actions and why police do what they do. Oftentimes, I feel as if that in the media, the police are portrayed as the villain in times where they shouldn't be. Now, I'm a big advocate of the police being scrutinized and held accountable to the public overall, as I believe they should be, as a former police officer myself. However, oftentimes the portrayal of the police is so negative and one-sided, and it lacks a more detailed understanding of the things that they do, why they respond the way they do. So one of the primary goals here at Code Red Conversations is to address those issues, where we break down various police incidents and shootings, and to give the general public a better understanding of police tactics. Why did they shoot him in the body as opposed to shoot him in the leg? And we'll go over a lot of little details. One of the things that I'm thankful for when it comes to doing a regular show, a regular podcast, weekly podcast, is that, hang on, let me plug us in so we don't run out of juice. Hold on one second. All right. Get this mic a little closer. This is episode 1, so if there are any quirks and issues, bear with me here. We'll be able to work them out as the weeks and time goes on. But one of the things that I'll be thankful for is being able to put out content on a more consistent basis, because when it comes to creating more long-form videos over specific topics, and I really like to edit these videos to make them more presentable and more worthy of being shared, it takes a little more time. The editing process is very tedious at times. I love what I do, but it can be very time consuming. Doing a weekly show, it'll cut out some of that, some aspects of that, but yet at the same time, it'll be content rich and information heavy. That's the goal. The second one is to better help officers improve their skills and tactics. And when I show these videos of police shootings and police uses of force, not every agency has a good enough or a large enough budget to where training can come at a premium. Some people are forced to reach into their own pocket, but also wanted to help create an additional avenue of information, of data, so that officers can, if you come across a tactic, you can say, you know what, that was excellent. I want to apply that. I want to use that. Or you can look at it openly and honestly and say, man, that was a mistake. I want to make sure that I never do something like that when I'm on a call. So we examine these situations, and for the betterment of the officer and for the betterment of the officers in general, and for the betterment of the public. I don't want to be biased. Now, granted, I do have a 20-year law enforcement career, but yet at the same time, I'm a black man who grew up in the 70s and 80s here in the United States. So I've seen racism, I've dealt with it face to face, and I've seen the ugly side of it. Now, every situation isn't inherently racist if it involves a white officer and a black man or a person of color. I want to put that out there, and I want to make sure that's abundantly clear. But yet at the same time, I'm not going to discount the possibility that race could play a factor in it. So part of our goal is to evaluate these situations openly and honestly, taking in all information. Not every situation involving people of different ethnic groups is racist. It could simply be if an officer does something using poor judgment, it could just be a bad cop. He could just suck as being an officer. We shouldn't jump to the conclusion that, hey, he's a bigot, he's a racist. Or until we have clear, blatant evidence that he is a racist, he or she is a racist, then I think it's foolish just to toss that around anytime there's a negative interaction with people of color, if that makes sense. And lastly, I want to empower the citizen out there who desires to increase their own personal safety skills, increase their own tactics so that they can protect their family. Because as much as I'm a fan of law enforcement, and I think that there's a need in a day and age where you have entities out there who are speaking about abolishing the police, which I think is totally absurd. Because one reason why it's totally absurd, because ultimately someone's going to have to take that position of stepping in and intervening in a law enforcement capacity. And then they'll understand that, yeah, weapons are going to be necessary. Weapons are needed. Body armor is going to be needed. Investigation. So what they're saying is it's just foolish, because ultimately someone will step in and take that position. But anyway, cops can, depending on where you live, it can take a long time for a cop to arrive if you ever have a problematic situation. And simply relying on the police to take care of all your problems is really a foolish idea. Now, granted, when you can use them, and one of the things we're going to address today is a prime example of not every situation warrants an individual stepping up and playing hero. There are times when the individual definitely needs to be able to defend themselves. And I would like to offer a alternative as far as training. Offering some advice, whether it be with tactical fitness, whether it be with firearms, whether it be with your personal self-defense skills, and just having the critical thinking and tactical mindset in order to handle these situations. So those goals haven't changed, and they won't change anytime soon. I just believe that this is an avenue where I can pump out more information to you guys at a lot quicker pace. We'll be going over newsworthy events that take place in the week, over the course of a week, or something may be so important that I need to jump on it immediately. And I may put out a short video, a short podcast episode just to address these issues. But I really would like to keep my podcast, keep this show relatively short. I'm hopefully at the most 45 minutes. Sometimes it'll be less, but when necessary, if the topic dictates, I have no problem going over. But I also want to be mindful of your time and understanding that not everybody has all day to sit back and listen to me ramble on all the time. I just mentioned it a moment ago, but fitness is a passion of mine. It's something that's been very important to me for a long time. And if anyone follows me on Facebook or Twitter, but primarily on my Facebook page, or just happens to know me in general, you know the journey that I've been on, where I've lost over 40 pounds over the last 6, going on 7 months. We'll be addressing the issue of tactical fitness and everything that involves. Not only so that you can better defend yourself and your family, but just so you can have just so you can have a higher quality of life with your family, with loved ones, whoever it may be. And I think it's something that's often missing in a lot of police agencies, and something that's often missed in a lot of current discussions on tactics overall, civilian or law enforcement or military. Well, military, it kind of goes with the flow. It's kind of something that's a definite part of what they do because every branch of service has a physical fitness requirement, but a lot of police agencies don't. And a lot of citizens really don't know how to go about it. So I will have a section of my show as often as you guys want it, where we'll be addressing that issue as well. If you have any ideas, if you don't know where to start and you're just curious of how to begin, hit me up. And also, so I don't forget this, if you have any suggestions, show suggestions, or topics you would like to see me address in these areas, feel free to send me a message at Code Red Conversations on my Facebook page, or via private message, or on my YouTube channel, or on my own Facebook page. Send me a message, and if I feel like it applies and I feel like there's a definite need for it, we can figure something out. We can make it work. So first thing I would like to do in this episode, I'd like to go over just a few. I'm going to keep this one relatively short, but I'd like to go over a few cases that are news articles that I saw that caught my eye, and I feel like you guys would appreciate it. Now, today is the 26th of March, 2019. And I just got this information a few moments ago. According to the Illinois State's Attorney's Office, I'm reading the article here, I have it posted up. This is from the National Review. From the Illinois State's Attorney's Office on Tuesday, dropped all charges that were brought against Empire actor Jussie Smollett last month after Chicago police revealed he staged a hate crime to advance his career. I'm pretty sure everyone's already familiar with the fact that he's alleged to have falsified a hate crime. And after a very detailed press conference from the Chicago PD and from the DA's office, lo and behold, they decided to drop all charges. And here's what's known so far at this time. It's around 9:30 in the morning Pacific time. Here's what's known so far. Today, all criminal charges against Jussie Smollett were dropped, and his record has been wiped clean of the filing of this tragic complaint against him. Smollett's legal team stated in a statement on Tuesday. Prosecutors took Smollett's history of community service into account when deciding to drop the charges, according to a statement released by the state's attorney's office Tuesday afternoon. After reviewing all the facts and circumstances of the case, including Mr. Smollett's voluntary service in the community and agreement to forfeit his bond to the city of Chicago, we believe this outcome is a just disposition and appropriate resolution to this case, the state's attorney's office said. So that's where we are. Now, I posted this on my personal Facebook page and got all kinds of reactions. And I saw someone post that it was an Obama administration conspiracy or something like that. And I had no idea what he was talking about. So I didn't respond to with a reply to that. But while reading this article, it was brought to my attention, and I was completely unaware of this. The Chicago Fraternal Order Police last week requested an investigation into Fox's handling of the case on the grounds that she improperly asked Johnson to turn the investigation over to the FBI after Tina Tichin, forgive me if I'm misstating that name. Tina Tichin is spelled Tchen. Michelle Obama's former chief of staff, requested that she do so at the behest of one of Smollett's relatives. So there's some controversy there as to what really went on behind the scenes in this case. Now, I'm the guy who's always been an advocate for let's wait till we get all the facts and information before we jump to a conclusion And because I feel as if when it comes to police related matters, oftentimes the individual, the cop, is often convicted in the court of public opinion before more details are even known, before the facts and the full circumstances, the totality of the circumstances are even known to the public. So I don't want to make a rush to judgment, but you can't help but think that there might be a little fishy going on here. But I'll wait and see. I'd love to hear from the superintendent. I believe that's what the title is in Chicago. Superintendent of police has to say based on this information. And I would love to hear more from the state district attorney in regard to this case. But to act as if politics don't play a role in situations like this is to be totally naive. And Chicago is a very left-leaning city. Jussie Smollett, black man, gay. Is it possible that there was some finagling going on behind the scenes? It's very possible. But like I said, once again, I would love to hear more information. I'm dying to hear more details. And if anybody hears more information, more details, comment down below, because I'm sure this is going to be an evolving case, and we'll be getting more information as time goes on. Crazy situation here. The next point I'd like to bring up is this is a case out of Arkansas, North Little Rock, Arkansas, from March 19th. It said police are searching for two people who shot and killed a military serviceman at an Arkansas gas station. This is from local news station Fox 5 from their website. Authorities in Central Arkansas are searching for two people who shot and killed a military serviceman who tried to stop a robbery at a gas station. North Little Rock police say 23-year-old Sean McHugh Jr., spelled McKeough. I apologize if I misspelled his name or misstated his name. Sean McHugh was fatally shot Friday night at a gas station in downtown North Little Rock. Police say McHugh was originally from Westbrook, Maine, and was a senior airman stationed at the Little Rock Air Force Base in Jacksonville. Police say two people holding handguns attempted to rob the gas station and shot McHugh when he tried to stop them. Police have released surveillance footage in hopes of identifying the suspects, both of whom were holding guns and had their faces either partially or fully covered. It is a horrible, horrible incident, said Sergeant Amy Cooper, told KARK TV. It is just so heartbreaking. Police say a $10,000 reward has been offered in the case. Now there's a video, that's a little video footage attached, and there's an image that's available, and there's two males, I believe it's two males, who are holding guns, and they're pointing their firearm at, it looks to be the attendant. I'm not sure, but whoever they're pointing their firearms at is off screen. Now I'm addressing this primarily because, as I mentioned earlier, and I don't know all the details involved in this situation now, but it would appear to me, based on the footage that I saw, that this is a situation where the average citizen the best bet would for them to sit back and be the best witness possible. Try to gather as many details as you can. A good description of the individuals, what they were wearing, how they sounded, their ethnicity, and it looks as if these two are black males or black individuals. They don't look like they're wearing any gloves, and from what you can see from their parts of at least one of their faces that's exposed. But the best bet in a situation like this would have been to be the best witness possible. Gather as much information as you can. If you see a vehicle description, maybe you see a license plate, what direction of travel they went, what they were wearing. Not every situation calls for you to jump in and be a hero physically. Not every situation mandates that. Now, I don't know if he responded, and if he responded because he only saw one gun, or maybe he only saw one suspect at the time. I don't know. But this didn't seem like a situation that he could win, or the odds were definitely against him. And I appreciate his heart and zeal and his desire to want to help and stop a crime that was taking place. But yet at the same time, now his family has to suffer because of these idiots, because of these evil men. And partially because of a lack of judgment on his part, I believe. And I in no way want to be ultra critical of the individual, but sometimes cooler heads prevail, and there are many situations where you just have to be wise and understand a tactical disadvantage when there's one in front of you, and not seek to jump in a situation like this. Be a good witness. Be a good witness and wait for the police to come and do their job. So I'm going to keep this episode right here. I'm going to keep this one short, especially considering the fact that this was our introductory episode. This was episode 1. I wanted to title it episode 0 because I'm kind of a comic book nerd, or at least I used to be. I really don't get too many modern comics because they've kind of went off the rails with some of their social justice foolishness. But I wanted to title it episode 0 because it's just kind of an introductory show. But I might make it episode 1. We'll see. But I want to keep it short. That's all the information for today. I appreciate you guys joining me. And those of you that have been along for the ride, thank you very, very much. I will be back, Lord willing, next week. But in the meantime, stay safe, God bless, and make sure you join the conversation. Peace.